Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Well. I love the Dollar Tree. Everyone who knows me knows that I love the Dollar Tree. I have been shopping there for many, many years. For those of you that are not real familiar with dollar stores and you're like, oh, there's a Family Dollar, a Dollar General, the Dollar Tree is basically the only dollar store where everything is $1. I do buy things at Family Dollar and Dollar General, and sometimes there's often unique local dollar stores in your area, but most of the time those they range in price. You know, you can buy things like a $25 comforter, and sometimes the prices aren't that good. So the Dollar Tree is the place to go when you just want to spend $1 on each item. And there are some things that I don't buy at the Dollar Tree for sure, like electronics. Even some things like toothpaste, you can actually get a bigger tube at Walmart than you can at the Dollar Tree for the same price. But one thing I love about the Dollar Tree is some of their storage options. If you're like me, you're always trying to figure out a way to store your stuff, to be better organized. I love to organize, but I don't have a big budget. So today I wanted to show you just a few of the ways I use Dollar Tree storage and organization, buckets, containers, things like that around my home. So I'm just going to kind of take you from room to room and show you a few things that I found useful. And all of these I found for $1 at the Dollar Tree. So let me take you around. So the Dollar Tree has clothes hampers. This is one of them. I keep it right by my bed with a blanket. If I get cold at night, I just reach down and that's where I store my blanket. This is one of my favorite Dollar Tree items. This little organization caddy. I keep my earrings in here, and I keep this inside a dresser drawer in my room. The Dollar Tree also has really cool knickknacks like this. I keep my bobby pins, a penny, some of my stud earrings, and I can put my wedding ring right on top of this feather at night if I want to take it off. And since we're renting, I'm trying not to mess up the walls too much, so I got these little hooks from the Dollar Tree and attached them to the wall with some double-sided tape, or you could use command strips, and I keep all my necklaces and my bracelets, my sunglasses, things like that, hanging up on the wall, and it's right behind my door in my bedroom, so it's out of the way. In the bathroom, I have a couple of Dollar Tree organization things. So this is a little container I got from the Dollar Tree that I keep my bobby pins and hair bows and things in. I have another Dollar Tree container for Q-tips, one for my makeup brushes. I also have on the back of my toilet, this is a newer line from the Dollar Tree of baskets that come in multiple colors. I have an air freshener and a roll of toilet paper in there. And then moving on to the kitchen, I have several Dollar Tree organizational things in here. Under my kitchen sink, I have some of these larger containers that I keep my cleaning products in. Just helps keep them organized. In my pantry over here, on the bottom shelf, another Dollar Tree container. This is where I keep the kids' dry snacks, so crackers, granola bars, things of that nature. In the fridge, same thing. Another Dollar Tree container. This is one of their newer ones also. It's really big, and I keep cold snacks in here. Fruit, yogurt, cheese sticks, things of that nature. And over here on my coffee bar, I have a couple of more of Dollar Tree's. This is one of their new products. They're carrying these really high-end looking brass containers. I have one here with my napkins. And then under the coffee bar, a couple more Dollar Tree containers where I keep extra tea, coffee, filters. Also on my coffee bar, I have these little containers, which are the perfect size for my girls' tea bags. So I have a couple of those. And then lastly, moving into the living room, I have this little storage container where I keep the boys' gaming consoles. So I hope that some of the ways I use Dollar Tree organizational products can inspire your creativity, and maybe there's some ways around your home that you can organize a little better. I do think that having a clean and tidy space lends itself to peace. And one of my desires is to have a peaceful home, a place where my family, my friends, those who come into my home can feel at rest and at peace. And I don't feel like clutter and dirt lends itself to peace. But I also know that I'm very much a type A personality. I like schedule, I like organization, I like cleanliness, and life doesn't always lend itself to that. So I wanted to talk to you just a moment about peace, because it's something that's been on my heart for a while now. the peace of God is not dependent upon our circumstances or upon our surroundings. So even if my house isn't always decluttered and clean and I don't always feel at rest, I can still experience the peace of God and I can still pass that on to those around me. So Jesus himself in Isaiah is called the Prince of Peace. And in Romans 15:33, we read, "Now the God of peace be with you all." So he is a God of peace. That's where peace comes from, the author of peace. Isaiah 26:3 says, "You keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." And so by keeping our mind focused on Jesus and by trusting in him, we can have peace. And 2 Thessalonians 3:16 says, "Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way." So that's a challenge. At all times and in every way, we can experience the peace of Christ. And then one of my favorite verses over the past year has been a verse from Luke 1 when Zechariah is prophesying. He's prophesying at the end of the chapter about the birth of Jesus. And he says this of Christ. He says that Jesus will come to give light to those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. So Christ has come to open up to us a way of peace, peace with God, peace internally, peace with others. So there's a path of peace that we can walk in. And that's a great comfort to me, that no matter what's going on in my life, Jesus has opened to me a way of peace. So what if you're having one of those days like we all have, where everything just seems chaotic and maybe the kids are fighting, maybe your heart isn't at peace, maybe there's been a million interruptions. We all have those kind of days. And I wanted to give you just 6 simple steps that I do sometimes to help promote peace in my heart and in my home. One is take a moment and just tidy up your house. Sometimes we need to just kind of do a reset on the day. And if you're home all the time as a homemaker or a homeschooler, or maybe you're coming home from work and you've had a chaotic day and everything's a mess, just take 10 minutes and do something like clear the kitchen sink or vacuum the floors, wipe off the bathroom counter, whatever it is. Just give yourself time to take a few moments to clean your house, to tidy up things a bit. And I find that often when our space around us is decluttered and cleaned, it just kind of makes you go, So try that. I know our personalities are all different, and some people hate messes and some people can exist in them just fine. But again, I don't really think that cluttered spaces lend themselves to a peaceful environment. So try that. Number 2, I love to keep worship music going on in my house. I've done this ever since the kids were really little. If I'm doing study or if the kids are doing work, sometimes it's instrumental music, but oftentimes it's praise and worship music from my favorite bands. I just keep it going in the house, and I feel like it just, it helps us all to keep our minds focused on the Lord. It helps me to keep my mind focused on the Lord. It just brings peace into our home. Number 3, sometimes we need a prayer timeout. There have been times before when everything is chaotic. Maybe there's some type of argument or disagreement between the kids, or they seem to be fighting a lot that day. And we just need to pause and gather around and just pray for a moment. Or sometimes mom needs to go into a room and close the door and pray for a moment. But again, it's just a timeout that helps you to stop and focus on the Lord. Number 4, I would say go outside. Fresh air and exercise are wonderful. They're de-stressors. They help get the energy out of kids. To me, being out in nature, going for a walk, taking the kids to a park is very relaxing, very decompressing, and it's wonderful for the kids. We used to go on walks every single day when my kids were little in New Mexico. Of course, the weather kind of lended itself to that, but we would go on like a mile walk every night after dinner, and most of the time we would go on a second walk sometime during the day too, maybe to a park or a playground. But get your kids outside, go for a walk, exercise, get out in nature. It's really good for everyone. Number 5, change it up. Sometimes maybe you're in your routine, but you're just not having a good day. Give yourself permission just to stop and do something different. Maybe it's, hey kids, let's pop some popcorn and watch a movie. Yes, it's a school day. Yes, it's 1 p.m., but it's okay. Sometimes we just need to break the routine and do something a little different. Maybe you need to take your kids out unexpectedly to somewhere special. In my town, there's gas stations that have like 50-cent ice cream cones during the summer. And there's times where I'm just like, guys, let's just go and grab an ice cream cone. And we go and do that and just enjoy a few minutes break from the day. So change it up a bit if you feel like you're stuck in a rut and things just aren't working that day. And finally, number 6, it's okay to do things for yourself sometimes, moms. Sometimes we kind of get into a self-martyrdom attitude where we think we're just supposed to give and give and give and give and give and give and give. And yes, we are supposed to give. We are supposed to serve, and the grace of God is enough to help us to do exactly what he's called us to do. But we're not supposed to be self-imposed martyrs. And sometimes it's okay to light a candle and read a book for half an hour. Sometimes it's okay to leave the kids with someone and go shopping by yourself. Sometimes it's okay to go for a walk by yourself. What is it with your personality that helps to refresh you and leave you feeling recharged? Take some time to do that every once in a while. And so you can have something to give to those around you. So may the peace of Christ be with you all. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.